we are. Reaper's Coast. We made it. The hunt. Like always. To be Godwoken is all well and good, but above all, I've yet to find the Master. Somewhere further inland, Roost Anlon breathes. All I have to do now is pick up his scent and make his last breath worth my while.
A dying shark lies gasping on the sand, bleeding from the mouth and gills. It turns its dark and soulless eyes to you. Its bloody gills open in search of water, but find only air. A dying shark lies gasping on the sand, bleeding from the mouth, and it gasps in the air, struggling for the breath to speak. Its own blood froths at its mouth.
No! Die here! Monsters in the water! Monsters in the deep!
It looks at you with its cold, flat eyes as if to say, do what you will. Then it turns away and gets back to drowning in the bloody sunshine.
I yield.
I'm ready!
I'm ready.
What happened here?
Magister caravan. I remember one just like this picking me up. Could have been a shipment to Fort Joy. But what happened here?
Not real. Not happening. No, it's not true. Can't be true. No, no, no! Can't be real. Not real. Not happening. No, it's not true. Can't be true. No, no, no! Can't be real. Not real. Not happening. No, it's not true. Can't be true. No, no! Can't be real. Not real. Not happening.
White as driftwood salt, the dwarf flinches at your approach, yet she holds a short, clean blade aloft. Her fierce stance can't hide the trembling of her fingers.
Back! Get back! I'll kill you, just like the rest of them.
Shh, lass. I know you're all afraid. In times like these, I don't blame you. But I ain't out to hurt you. Now, why don't you take a few breaths and tell me what happened?
She slumps, all bravado draining from her.
No, no. I've never seen anything like those beasts before. Are they gone?
Voidwoken, you mean? Poor thing. No wonder you were scared. I'd be scared too.
Those... Yes. Worst ones I've ever seen. Ripped through the Magisters. The dwarves. Dead. 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 And the sorcerers. Sorcerers. Gone.
Her eyes stare vacantly into the distance, glassy as marbles. It's not cold, yet her shivering is relentless.
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Duna's beard. Lohar. My boss, Lohar, will want to know what happened to them, but I can't remember.
Lohar, eh? Where will I find this boss of yours?
Oh, well, you'll find him in Effie's Emporium, beneath the Black Bull. He's a fine man. A little gruff, yeah, but he's the only one in Driftwood wanting to help and not hurt.
She looks up at Beast through tear-stained eyes, but you can see her resolve hardening as she remembers who she is and what she stands for.
Oh, Seven Sympathy. I saw those things dragging the sorcerers along the cliffs towards the Wreckers' Caves. No more. It's gone.
She flinches at the slightest rustle of wind through the long grass. Terror in her eyes, she stumbles away from you. She is and what she stands for.
I...
Locked.
Helen Keller. Long time no see. The new Bones album? Heck yeah, I heard the new.
A scruffy kid bounds up and stands before you, hands on hips. He stares at your face, doubt screwing up his features.
You Ben Mez? Yep, that's just what he said you'd say, Ifan. Righto, got a message for you. Chap called Baron Laveri wants to see you. Black Bull Tavern, first floor.
The kid shoves his hands in his pockets and ambles off, whistling an off-key tune.
Yes, you look just the type. Egg thief, I knew it. I found the culprit. Tell that to Big Marge, if you dare.
Did you expect a needle?
Do you even know what they've done to you?
A fly buzzes around the dwarf's mutilated head. For a moment it lands, crawls across his open eye and takes off again. The silent watcher does not blink.
Please, why would I kill Lucian's second most charming son?
A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, 2 lizards. One in a Magister uniform hangs dead from her neck. The other hangs from her hands, still alive.
Step away from the prisoner! She's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead just yet. She's a tough one, Meister Seaver. She's a seeker, and she's a bloody traitor. She was part of the Order. Knew Alexander personally. Alexander trusted her, at least as far as you can trust a lizard. To repay that trust, the Meister gave Alexander up to his enemies. She wasn't there when Alexander fell, but White Magister Raymond uncovered the truth. She's as guilty as any of them, and I reckon she got off lightly. I'd have had her flayed alive with a salted bullwhip. You're going to... what, now? She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her.
Do you even know what they've done?
Try it and we'll tear your head off. Now move along.
A Magister guard approaches.
Step away from the prisoner! You're going to... She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her.
I did not kill Alexander.
I have my...
Release me!
A Magister guard approaches.
Step away from the prisoner, elf! You're going to... She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her. I ain't bu-
I yield to none.
doing pretty average too, honestly. The reason I do not like epic stores.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but her tongue flickers as you approach.
Welcome to Driftwood, Godwoken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done. Or indeed you could stand there gulping like a mutt at the dinner table. That is certainly your right.
The Meister bares her teeth, stained a deep pink by her blood, and growls.
Malady is unfortunately mistaken. I cannot train you, but I can certainly help you on your path, as long as I am free of this rope. Be quick about it before the next Magister patrol realizes something is amiss. God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a house to secure. Meet me at my home in Driftwood. We have...
Rubbish. Last time I was here, I summoned my wolf right in the tavern. All hell broke loose. Good times.
Magister Regional
Good
Headquarters and Jail. Driftwood.
I wonder if they'll remember me.
The Meister's back! The Meister's back! She doesn't feel like playing, but...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man, god or even reptile can provide. However, We must soldier on. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magister... Kindly remove that painting from the wall. I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, God-woken.
ancient
Feel
ruins,
free to look about while I
weird
catch my
contraptions.
breath.
This place is an
Come
Arcanist
speak
dream.
to me when you wish to proceed. And try not to break anything in the meantime.
Rubbish.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot, nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and Drudenay oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. Maester is examining her wounds, prodding at...
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? Just so. To accept divinity is to accept If granted divinity, you would have the power of all 7 gods at your disposal. You could heal any wound, pull islands from the sea. But make no mistake, the Divine has only one duty. To protect this world. The Divine cannot use his power for anything else. Very well, then. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then, well, not inhale the smoke, but whatever the skeletal equivalent is. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, itchy bones, or a dire sense of everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard, sauce in the glowing fountain, ritual in the tome by the bookcase, even an incinerator to provide a flame. Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder.
The Maester points sharply to the ingredients.
And do not lose anything. These ingredients...
Opening the door, you see a selection of you explore the remaining ingredients, but you've already taken...
Good find.
Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, sauce in the fountain. Go!
I'm not doing it, Silver.
As the smoke swirls about your skull, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
Deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of this eerie, starless landscape, you spot a figure you could only describe as you. Another. It looks haggard and weak, its voice merely a feeble echo of your own.
Thane! My child. Come. Come closer. Let us be done with this farce.
The apparition clasps your face in shaking, skeletal hands, and you feel a tingle run through your bones. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color before fading back to their accustomed spectrum.
Time to open the eyes you lost so long ago. To see the world as you once did. Speak the spell and see.
Strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Amadia in all her spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you, Fane? Your sister, your guardian. You were my hero once. You must be so again. Your kindred soul was my last refuge, my last bastion. From here I can aid you, but only if you grant me one small kindness.
Amadia stretches out and nourishes herself from a source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself as it drains away.
Ah, yes. That is better. That is so much better. Truly, dying does not become a god. The forces of the king are hunting us down, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We are battling for our very survival, and I doubt you would have us lose, Fane. Should we perish, we will be cast into oblivion, and I dare not dream what he will do to you.
Not doing that over.
In a manner of speaking. But let that be a motivator, not a cause for concern. You must realize, dear one, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We, united, we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we are to survive the onslaught of the king and his void minions, you must remember what you have forgotten. We must become vastly more powerful. And once you are strong enough, we must travel to the Well of Ascension. There, you will become even more powerful. Eager child, before we discuss the where, we must first muse the what. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave those powers up freely to create the first divine, a mortal we infused with our united strength. To bathe in the lake is to become the divine. But you, Fane, you could be so much more, and that is why you must be the first to reach it, no matter what the cost. We had no choice. In the face of the Void's onslaught, our individual powers would never have been enough, although we still had the sense to leave him immortal. The Void has never been this strong. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in its powers, but to take them, all of them. Even all those powers will barely be enough to defeat the king. Alas, I fear it is too late for me, and the others have shown they cannot be trusted. You are innocent, Fane. That is why you must wield the power. It was you that uncovered it after all. Of course, the others are saying the same to their mortal Godwoken as we speak. But there can be only one. So make no mistake, dear Fane. The road to divinity may well mean the blood of those 6 traitors staining your ivory hands. But do not let that dismay you. You will save these mortals. You will save this world. You will save me, the last of your true kin. And you will become a god. I will lead you to the lake, my child, but not yet. Not until you have remastered the source and once again speak the language of creation. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source as you once did, and wield its most powerful spells.
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You flatter me, dear child, but if all I had to do was give, you would have received long ago. We are I now. I shall teach you the spells you need to remember soon, but not before you relearn how to channel the source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek these masters of the source. You must make them teach you, so that you can regain your full power. They may be nothing but mortals, but like all mortals, they have their uses. Return to Rivellon, seek them out, and force these masters to share the knowledge they have gleaned. Once you have, return to me here. You had forgotten how to view the world, my child. This will make you understand that for us, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is, immortally so. Your vision has been restored, giving you the power to see spirits, the souls of dead mortals made manifest in Source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. Good luck, dear Fane. Make me proud.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know? A little dramatic for someone without lungs, don't you think? Very well. Given that you're not a smouldering pile of ash, I assume the ritual was a success. But it was your source, wasn't it? You're not strong enough to become the divine. That is unfortunate. Indeed not. And ever more difficult when you've been purged. I was a master of source once, but no longer. The Magisters saw to that. The river of my source has been dammed. My link to the font from which it flows, severed. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Just so, some of these are quite dark, twisted individuals. The kind of creatures that grew bored pulling their legs from spiders and so moved on to people. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just keep your eye sockets peeled. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
It's still there, Quercus. Do you think it'll ever leave us in peace?
Nice.
Now is not the time for a bath.
I have to stop these disappearances. My career is at stake. Bellwether!
Blessings of the divine upon you, good sir. My husband and I were just sitting down for a picnic under the sun. We haven't much to offer, but would you care to join us? In a hurry, are you? On your way to Arx like we are? Oh, we wouldn't miss Lucian's Day for the world. Oh, but all roads lead to Arx around here. And you will visit us, won't you? The more pilgrims pray for his return, the sooner Lucian will walk among us once more. Just to listen to me going on and on, even though you told me you haven't the time to break bread with us. Forgive me. I shan't keep you a moment long.
I deserve a better posting.
Let it be known henceforth to each and every subject here and everywhere that, in the absence of our beloved Alexander, Bishop Divine, slain with malice and injustice by foul sorcerers, as were let fly by the perfidious lizards of the ancient empire, with the aid and abettancy of the treacherous dwarven kingdom, the Divine Order of Lucian is now led by his son's most trusted intimate and advisor, Dallis, Hammer of the Divine, Savior of the Sorcerers, and new deliverer of the peoples of Rivellon. The Hammer shall take counsel from her most trusted advisors. Hail to the Hammer, 7 times blessed.
There are problems with the S's here. Bleft. Bleft.
Cut off a demon's head, and an archdemon rises from the bloody stump. Typical.
Truly? Is it some sort of breeding technique or... Ah! One of your human phrases.
I deserve a better posting.
The Magister startles, realizing there's a stranger in his midst.
What do you want? You can't just come in here as you please. There's Magisters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation. Good to hear someone cares about our missing uniforms. If we don't find the culprit soon, I fear we'll lose another good recruit. Yes, a vile little tinkerer goes by the name of Higba. 3 of my magisters have gone missing of late from right here in Driftwood. All signs are that Higba is responsible. Catching, killing, I don't care. There'll be gold for whoever puts an end to this rat. If you see anything, tell me or my men at once. Otherwise, keep the hell. Elsa, my inkwell is
Course,
dry.
sir.
Fetch me some.
Right away.
The Magister turns to you with a scowl. He already seemed immensely displeased, and your interjection isn't improving his mood.
What?
The Magister glances at you like you're something he just stepped in.
Keep out of it. That's what I want to know. Stuck here with those silent things. The new leadership ought to learn to respect its veterans. We're the ones who uphold the rule of law, not white ponces like Raymond and Jonathan.
The Magister shakes his head, an odd little gleam in his eye.
You're wrong there. I've heard rumours of... well, let's just say there's other places where I'd be appreciated more than I am in Driftwood. Shut your mouth, or I'll fling you in one of these cells. Hear me? In fact...
Did you expect a needle?
I need those reports, damn it.
Right away.
My career is at stake. Nelson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some. Right away.
Greetings! May the Seven circle you and keep you safe. Ah, it's a wonderful day, wouldn't you agree? And with good reason, too. Oh, for isn't it wonderful to look upon so simple a meal, bread and cheese, and be positively overcome with appetite? Why, only a few days ago, I was writhing in pain, having eaten from that rotten fish they dare sell on the market. But then a fellow pilgrim passed by, laid his hands upon my feverish skin, and just like that, I was cured. Truly, it was a miracle. Alas, I cannot say who he was, but I can say what he was. A holy man. A stranger showing kindness to strangers, exemplifying the teachings of the divine. Fills my heart with gladness to know that there are still folks like him to be found, now that our Lord Alexander has fallen. May the Seven keep him. May they keep all of us.
So-called holy man who can heal with magic. Wonder if he might be one of the sorcerers Meister Siva wants me to find.
The carved figure is a resplendent sight in this ramshackle village. Your touch creates a ripple across the mosaic as if it were water and not stone. A comforting warmth spreads through you, starting at your fingertips.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Ifan Ben Mesd is our living breeze. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you and no mistake.
One eye squints, the other bulges out even further, as if to compensate.
Oh, it's you, all right. It's definitely you. Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mesd.
She considers your offer.
How much?
Keeping it together, Ree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
The Magister grabs the coin and looks around shiftily, then turns back to you.
Get out of here. And don't let me catch you again.
Wars are brewing, my friend, and I'll stand by your side. But prices will go up, even for one of our own. Buy now and buy often. Special prices for you, my friend. Gotta stick with your own in times of trouble, right? War is hell, my friend, but it's very good for business. Good luck to you.
For insubordination!
Keeping it together, Ree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. It's not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. It's not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Keeping it together, Bree. What? I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Queen Justinia executes 2 dozen noblemen for insubordination!
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Bishop Alexander was slain by singers! Alfred stood at large! Latest news! Fresh from the War Owl! Many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, the queen. What tickles your fancy? Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarves. Ha!
Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the way to the execution grounds. Didn't even give them the dignity of the sword, no sir. Had them all hung. Real slow like. You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Queen or no queen.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Hello, mister.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
You be careful. My daddy's a magister. No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here.
They stare at you in disbelief. Then they start.
You're weird. Bye-bye, mister.
Bye-bye, miss.
Don't let up now. Keep hauling that cargo. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the tide. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath.
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
You do not get to make that decision. That decision is mine. A good day? Let's talk about a good day. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as you're... Ah, you've met with what's left of Siva, have you? I'm so very glad you're familiar with my work. See, I'd like to string you up too. Oh, no, that won't do at all. Innocence is a mask that doesn't fit you. I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a source hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth. That is to say, best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. No doubt a trustee of Dallas is champing at the bit to see some action. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters. But consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? I've need of a rat catcher. Of course. I must depart post-haste. But Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up? How very heartwarming. One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail, I assure you. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows I pass on to you. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind like a dog. Bah! 7 curses upon that ship.